concrete is here. We're started, and it's going to be a busy day today. We're also working on this wall out here as well. And in this video, I'm going to break down the costs for this slab and how much you can expect to pay and why it might be best to hire a professional rather than doing it yourself like I normally try. Just to save a few dollars, if you have a concrete job here in Australia, download an app called CreepMate and you can organise and put together a team for your pour. Unlike my main trades of plastering and painting, concreting, you need to rely on a few other factors, not just the weather, the timing of the trucks and the pump, also making sure you have enough skilled finishers at hand so your concrete doesn't dry up before it can be properly finished. For the last couple of days, the guys brought over some boxing and mesh ready to lay the concrete. If you're doing a slab, some guys only go 75mm thick, but I think the minimum you should go is 100mm. Right now, we have over 20 tons sitting on the concrete driveway, and the thicker you have it, the stronger it will be. So depending if there will be only foot traffic or cars and trucks regularly driving on top, that should determine how thick you need the concrete slab to be. I will also recommend using some black plastic, known as builder's film or vapor bag. It's installed under the concrete slabs to prevent from moisture and the ground water penetrating the slab, preventing issues like mold, dampness and efflorescence. It also helps prevent concrete from losing water too quickly to the soil, ensuring proper curing and reducing shrinkage cracks. For the cost of buying and installing black plastic, I think it definitely should be used as standard. For my job here, we had this side pathway and larger area for where my patio would be. It's definitely worthwhile getting a concrete pump. I was honestly worried we wouldn't get the pump down the driveway and around the corner enough to get the concrete trucks to back up. We are pouring today 13 cubes of concrete. The pump truck was an additional 1,000 and it came with a guy to distribute the concrete with the hose for the finishes. Rather than using wheelbarrows, especially in our climate on the east coast of Australia, temperatures can be over 30 degrees Celsius at 8 AM. Concrete prices in Australia are also heating up, with significant increases over the last 3 years. Some estimates indicating that costs for concrete and related cement products have risen by over 50% since early 2020. Skilled labour is also costing more. Australia's construction industry is facing a severe worsening shortage, with projections indicating a deficit of 300,000 workers by mid-2027 to meet housing and infrastructure demands. Urgent labour shortages are impacting residential construction and major projects across the country. With the lead up to the Olympics, the demand for trades, especially concreters, has outstripped supply. So that's why I want to give you a few tips dealing with concreters if you don't want to be ripped off and avoid costly mistakes and get your job done. First of all, don't ask for a quote unless you are serious. Many homeowners are just fishing for the cheapest quote without knowing the cost of concrete itself. On the East Coast, typical costs are now between $100 and $150 per square metre, depending on the finish. If the cheapest quote doesn't cover that, you know you might have an empty promise or cheap unskilled labour. It could end up a very low quality job. There is a lot that can go wrong and work behind the scenes that you don't know. So I generally don't try to talk contractors down in price. If that's the price for a quality finish you're expecting, then you should probably just go with that. Another tip when dealing with concreters is expect to pay a deposit. Too many people pull out at the last minute. And if you being the contractor have everything organised and individual contractors have made themselves available for that day and the customer pulls out, it's not good at all. So deposits should be paid if you're to be taken seriously. In the price, make sure it includes coming back ASAP to cutting control joints in the slab to prevent further cracking. If your concreter hasn't mentioned this, you should bring it up, because from the minute it starts to cure, it's going to want to crack. If the concreter recommends a pump, get a pump. Even if it costs extra, it allows them to focus on your finish rather than the labour-intensive task of filling wheelbarrows full of concrete and pushing them 20 metres. See how there are 4 stakes in the ground? They all have markers on them, which is finished level height. You will see they finish around these first as they are going, and also around the outside boxing areas, so they know where to bring the levels up to in between those spots. You have someone behind with the rake pushing the right amount of concrete to the screed, filling any hollows or pushing away any concrete if there's too much there. What do you think? Is concreting one of the hardest jobs there is? How much do they make per day?
Can't say because I haven't been on one of these in so long. I don't know what's here. Yeah, I'll probably get that.
Yeah, the gutter was leaking down there, so I just hung that bucket on there.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Just keep an eye down at the end downpipe as well, if it does it there.